SR-71 today remains this mysterious and enticing aircraft. It's menacing, it looks so sleek, but really this is completely a form dictated by the function of the aircraft. We had a need to know what was going on in other countries, and the way that we were going to do that was having a photographic aircraft that could fly very high and very fast, and much faster than the U-2 which preceded it. The SR-71 was that answer for the U.S. Air Force and for the United States. The SR-71 was a tremendous leap forward in technology in many different ways. Fighters at the time could go about Mach 2, this could go Mach 3. It could fly incredibly high. Now there were aircraft that could reach the height of the SR-71, but only in a zoom climb and only temporarily, whereas the SR-71 could fly at level attitude at 80,000 feet or higher. There was no other aircraft at the time that could do that. It was a magnificent platform. It was untouchable, and yet it had not only photographic cameras, it also had systems that performed electronic intelligence as well, and it had a side-looking airborne radar, which was another sensor which was very effective. Speed in the 1960s was what stealth is today. Speed was survivability. In fact, the best way for an SR-71 to deal with a surface-air missile shot at it was just simply to speed up. There are some great ways to realize and understand just how fast the SR-71 was. An SR-71 flew from Los Angeles to DC in just a little over an hour. Now imagine, in that amount of time, one would drive to the airport and maybe get your bags checked in, and this airplane flew from coast to coast in a little over an hour. Originally, when the SR-71 was developed, there was the possibility that it could be used over China or even over the Soviet Union. It wasn't used in that way, largely due to diplomatic efforts, but it was used in the dangerous skies over North Vietnam during the Southeast Asia War, and it was also used over North Korea during the Pueblo crisis in 1968, and it was used in other places around the world. The Air Force operated the SR-71, an aircraft that had a capability that no other country in the world had. And the SR-71 could go get photographs and intelligence information that was desperately needed, but that no other aircraft and no other Air Force could get. The SR-71 is a famed aircraft that could go 3 times the speed of sound and was used for reconnaissance during the Cold War. What's lesser known, however, is the amazing engine that powered and enabled it, the J-58 engine. One of the big problems with the J-58 engine was that this engine had to be able to operate at a wide range of conditions, from takeoff and landing of the SR-71 all the way up to Mach 3 plus speeds. A big challenge with the J-58 was dealing with heat. At the turbine wheel, the temperature was about 2,000 degrees, so high temperature metal alloys were very important. Also, in controlling the engine, the J-58 used a hydraulic system rather than an electrical system to deal with this heat problem. Also, the J-58 engine was used in continuous afterburner, which is very unusual for an aircraft because of the heat issue. And the way that the J-58 design dealt with that were with these bypass tubes. There are 6 of these, 3 on each side, and air from the front part of the engine, partway through the compressor, was ducted back to the afterburner, and this air was also used to cool the afterburner. Another important feature of the J-58 engine, and really the SR-71's propulsion system in general, was the way that the inlet was shaped. And in fact, at the high speeds that the SR-71 could fly past Mach 3, about half the thrust of the SR-71 actually came from the shock wave that was captured inside the inlet of the SR-71.